man. Get you
No
going.
doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, welcome back. This is Locker Room Talk with Jitim Young. I'm your boy, Mr. Wildcat, Mr. Northwestern, Mr. Big Ten himself, Chicago legend, Mr. Hall of Fame, Jitim Young. And in the locker room, I got my brother, another guy that's familiar with locker rooms at every level. Hey, that left hand is a killer if you don't stop it. My boy Vince Grier, man, Minnesota Golden Gophers of all Big Ten performer, man. Hey Vince, man, how you like the locker room, bro?
Man, I love it, man. I appreciate you for having me on the show, man. Hope you being blessed, man. Let's talk. Let's have a good conversation. Let's let the people
For
know what's
sure.
going on in the locker room.
Man, already, man. Like, like I created the show when I came up with the idea. It was like, we spend our whole life in the locker room, and people always ask me like, "What do you miss most about playing?" I say, to be honest, I miss the locker room because in that locker room, you grow up and become a man. You go in that locker room as a boy, but you learn so much in that locker room. You become a man, and I want people to kind of get the feeling of like what they won't get the full experience, but for the athletes to understand, they'll get kind of a glimpse of like kind of what that growth and what we do inside that locker room.
For sure, for sure. It's definitely growth inside that. Like you said, one thing I miss most is the camaraderie that you have in that locker room. It's hardships, it's congratulations, it's friendships embraced for a long time to come. You cry, you cheer, but it's a lot of growth in that locker room, from a freshman to a senior. Even if you go that long, but
Yeah,
it's life is lifelong friendships in that locker room. It's many moments that goes off the clock that you don't see, that you'll remember later down the line when it comes to a homecoming or
yeah,
a 2 year call down the line. Like, man, you remember when this happened? Those memories last you a lifetime.
yeah, dude. And like before you came to the Big Ten, um, you got recruited. Talk about kind of like once you decided, like when you committed out of high school, you was one of the top players in the country. Kind of talk about that process, but before you even came to the Big Ten. But talk about like when you were getting recruited and like when you first committed. Kind of take us through that.
Well, I give you a rundown about it. Well, like you said, I was a top 100 kid coming out of high school. My grandma and
Yeah.
granddad had never missed a game since I was 5 years old. So, out of all the schools, Charlotte recruited me, and took a liking to Coach Nickelberry, so I committed to Charlotte. It was some things that was said and done, that didn't happen. Looking on hindsight, as I done grew as a man, 20 minutes as a freshman is a lot, but I'm looking at my peers that's top 100. They getting 30 minutes at their respective universities. So, I wanted to transfer. Um, Coach Bobby Loops, great guy, but he wanted me to stay home. Things didn't happen, so I had to transfer. I wasn't able to get a release, so I had to go to junior college, which is Dixie State, which was set up for me to go back to Division One. Dixie State
Hmm.
is in St. George, Utah. It's about an hour away from Las Vegas. It's been known to have great D1 guys from Mo Baker. Um, that went to Oklahoma State.
Yeah, yeah. I know
Uh,
Mo well. Played
who
against
else?
Mo.
You got Jaime Loretta. You got a couple of guys that don't. Marcus Banks that was 12th in the draft. You got a
Yeah,
couple of
Marcus
guys
was
that went.
cold.
So Dixie State once again opened up my recruitment just like I was coming out of high school. My final three was Arizona, Oklahoma, and Minnesota. And I had always watched the Big Ten, especially being in Dixie State. I seen what Devin Harris did um, at Wisconsin, and I was like, man, I can do that. I can take my team and lead them, even though I know they was coming off a 3-13 record, one of the worst records in the Big Ten. But I was like, if I choose them, I can do exactly what they did and get us back to the tournament. And that was probably one of the best decisions I made in my life when I went to Minnesota. We won 21 games. I was able to be first team Big Ten, get a lot of individual accolades, but I give a lot of it to my teammates because they understood what I wanted to do. They understood my leadership and bought in and especially with the coach Dan Munson, we were able to go to the NCAAs.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I always like playing against Coach Munson team. I was first team All Big Ten my senior year at Northwestern. I was All Big Ten tournament and everything. And I remember I got picked up by Phoenix my rookie year, and I ended up going to Greece. And I remember when you came and I was watching you, and I'm like, yo, this lefty is raw boy, number 15, Cole. Like, what did y'all do, man? Somebody guard Shorty. Like, he got game. So, man, like, kind of, I know Coach Munson was one of them guys. Y'all had that press, and then you were so long, it kind of fit your game, and then he gonna let you play. How did you like you coming from the South? How did you adjust to like that cold weather in Minnesota?
Man, that 2 week was a big adjustment. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember the first day we had to go to this memory never leaves me, and I talk to him, Coach Walker, about it all the time. We still laugh about it to this day because I almost went home.
Right,
Uh, the first day of class, I wake up out of my dorm room. You got the ice or whatever, the snow is piled up like 10 feet on the side of the road,
right,
like on the pole. It's going ham down, you know what I'm saying? Snow on the ground. I'm talking about a blizzard. I called
right,
him like, Coach Munson, like, we go to school in this? I say, I know class is canceled, right? He was like, no, class is in session. You gotta go. You gotta walk. Walk. You man, stop playing. He ended up, man, came over there, had one of the GAs over there. They drove me to school a couple of days, the first week or two. And then it was
yeah,
like, man, you got to get it on your own. But the
right.
adapt to that cold, man, I had never seen that. I had never had a coat. I had never had a coat with fur on the hood, none of that. So,
Oh my
so it
God,
was
man.
definitely, man. Minnesota was almost never happening because, man, oh my God, if you wouldn't have got my mind right the first 2 weeks, I was
Right.
going back up to Charlotte.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro, that is hilarious, bro. That's funny because I know, like, Chicago, we get cold weather and we get a lot of snow. But, like, my sister live in Minnesota. She moved to Minnesota, like, almost about 20 years ago. And when I went, I mean, obviously, playing the Big Ten, you go up, we play
For
y'all.
sure.
Yeah, we'll probably stay over, but we go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I actually was up there and I'm like, bro, Chicago cold, Minnesota type of cold, bro,
So
I was like, man, ain't nothing like that, boy.
you got to realize you got 10,000 lakes. You got the wind coming off them lakes.
That's a
You
fact.
got you got that wind coming from Canada. Like I love Chicago weather. Like it's 29 there, but it's bearable.
Right.
29 in Minnesota, man, you may be sick for 3 weeks.
Facts, man. On the real. Man, Joe, man, you had a great college career and you know, you finish up, you all Big Ten, you everything. Man, talk to us about like, once you went to that next level, you became a professional basketball player. How was that experience like?
Well, just like you and some of that, I went to Miami my first year coming out of school. You know what I'm saying? Vet camp, everything, final cut. Then I went over to France for 2 years.
Mhm. Right.
Language barrier a little bit, but I definitely wanted to get back.
Hmm.
You still hungry, like I want to get back to the league, you know.
Right.
And I was able to connect with a guy that's Mr. Minnesota, Khalid El-Amin, which you probably played against him, of
Facts.
course,
Yeah.
over in Israel or
Facts.
Turkey or somewhere where you played.
Yeah.
And he just told me, he was like, Vince, I see a lot of people, and I want to tell you since you're young, it's a lot of people that chase that dream, and by the time they look up, that dream is too late when you could have established yourself over here and got the same money, if not more.
Hmm.
So with that said, with him doing that and me working out with him in the summers in Minnesota and going back and things of that nature, it was the decision that I just made. It was best for me to stay overseas and not chase that dream. But man, I
Yeah.
got cultured in all different ways. I was able to play 2 years in France, go
Hmm.
all over Paris, Nice, everywhere around us, Tulum. everywhere around the south of France, and then I
Yeah.
was able to go to Turkey for the next 8 years. Which man, that was everything to me. Turkey was man probably one of the best countries I ever been in.
Yeah, man. I was in Greece. I love Greece, and we had a couple friendlies against Turkey, but that Israel,
For sure.
just kind of thinking a lot. When you travel, and not only like the country you living in, but when you get to travel to other places, like you go to Istanbul, you go to Paris, you go to Italy, and you go to all these countries. Like, man, this is like crazy. Like, it's amazing, and you thinking, I picked this basketball up and was playing on the playgrounds and in the alleys on the crates in Chicago, and
Yeah,
this little circle thing in my hand, got me on private planes, seeing the whole world, seeing Russia and stuff. It was just like what you said. It was amazing.
man, that little basketball, man, that little 9 ounce basketball will take you everywhere in the world that you ever wanted to go, and you never knew that growing up. You was just playing the game in love with it, and your passion.
Yeah,
Watching Michael Jordan, watching you, especially from Chicago, Tim Hardaway, Doc Rivers,
yeah,
Isaiah Thomas, you name it, because Chicago got
yeah.
guards up. They the city of guards. There's no question.
Right,
So
man.
we ACC born, so watching Jordan, all them Sleepy Floyd, all them James Worthy coming down,
Yeah,
and you just want to be like them, and but
yeah.
once you understand the business that side of it, which people don't understand, when you get into a professional after you leave college, that ball really took you around the world, got you cultured, different foods that you'll never do,
Every
your
culture.
your passport stamp, like man, like I was just telling you, I was over in Chicago 2 days ago, was over in Irving Park District at a hookah
Uh-huh.
lounge. Ran into some guys who own it from Turkey. We talked about the food that I used to eat, the team that they love, the soccer team that they love.
Right.
Without me able to do that with basketball, I would have never been able to connect with them. And now I gotta every time I come back to Chicago, they like let's connect. That's a friend for while we here.
Yeah,
In cities that
yeah. And like
cities
I
that you
told you,
go to.
man, just you in Chicago, period. Like, Chicago love you, bro. Like, yeah, Chicago love the Big 10, period. We are a sports town, but when you are one of them ones that come to the city and show the city he can hoop, bro. Like, people ain't gonna never forget you. And every time you show up, people know who you are, man. People know who you are, and definitely, man, give you your flowers because it show you and your character, your hard work to be that good. Because that's effort, that's hours spent, that's times you didn't sleep because you just wanted to hoop, and we respect that for real.
Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. That's coming from a legend yourself. So, man, that's a
Yeah,
big ups. I appreciate it, man. I definitely do. And much love to Chicago. Believe me, from everybody I got there, everybody I connected with, played against, man, like I tell people, top 3 cities in the world for me.
yeah, for sure, man. You doing a lot of playing, coaching, working with kids. What's some of the messages that now that you on that aspect of giving back? What's kind of your style in teaching and a couple of some messages that you send to the youngsters that you're working with?
Man, when I in the training world, when I'm in the training space, man, it's all about just working, man. Just trusting the
Hmm.
process. You may not
Right.
see it, but you gotta believe it. It's just like air. We can't see it, but we know we breathe every day. So that work that you put in, and also
That's a
the work
fact.
that no one sees. It's easy to play in front of the lights when 20 people, 20,000 people in the stands, or 3,000 people in a high school stand. But what happens when no one's in that gym and it's just you? That's the hardest work to put in. Can you do that night in and night out? I don't care if you done train 4 days a week. On that fifth day, on that weekend, can you run a mile? Can you run the hills? Can you do some push-ups? Just something. So on Monday, your body is still ready like it was last week. So that's one of the
Right.
things I talk to the kids about. Just working daily, man. Working on your game, working hard. Just continue working, having a passion for it. It's just not
Yeah.
something that it's not your game is not a light switch. You just can't turn it on and off.
Come on now. That is so true, bro. Man, and I think that's the thing when I look at a lot of the kids now, and know they get deals, and I'm happy. So happy. I think this should have happened 30 years ago, but it's great that it's happening now. And I tell these high school kids that's trying to get to the Big Ten, the ACC, the Pac-12, and all this to play at that level. Man, this basketball ain't no light switch. Like I used to work out and hoop 6 to 8 hours a day. You ain't got no job, no kids. You living at home. All you gotta do is go to school and hoop. Like what like
That's
how
all
how
you.
you can't do that? Put them video games down and get on the court, man, and make something happen. And the ones that's doing that, you seeing them, and not only is they getting scholarship to go hoop, they getting $1 million NIL deals. Could you imagine, Vince, if we was getting NIL with the work we was
Man,
putting in? What? Man, I
20,
had to get
30.
2 million a year.
Man, I'm talking about these boys getting 20, 30,000 a month, 100,000 a month, man. Like craziness. It's crazy to me that they getting it because, like you said, man, it's well due. You feel me? But it's just like it's just something about the game. They just so entitled, and you know, like I said, man, I don't like getting on different generations because you can go back and forth. And I say this generation weak. The people before us can say our generation was weak, but to their defense, with everything that's going on in the world, I don't feel that they get the chance to play enough. You know,
Right.
they don't get to go to the gyms and play in a part like we did.
Yeah,
Maybe
true.
because we didn't have to worry about nothing because how society is today, of course, with everything that goes on in the world, you're scared to let your kid go to the mailbox by itself. So I can only imagine kids walking to the park and things of that nature now. So only the instincts that we picked up playing with older men
Yeah,
that was our
that's
trainers back then. That's big for us. So you
hmm
know, I it comes with a gift and a curse. There, I will tell you this though: the kids these days they're
right,
way more skilled than us. They don't have more heart than us though.
right,
They skilled to the T.
right.
I'm talking
Or
about they
that
do some
grit.
things like
They
yeah,
oh yeah, they basketball kept to death. Like I was watching who was that? John Lucas the third. He was training some kids, and the boy had a wide open look, common sense layup. He
yeah.
wanted to do the
Do the Rondo. Yeah.
yeah. He was like, dude, what is you doing? That's not
And
basketball. What you doing a cone drill in a competition? Hey, put your buddy into him and lay that thing up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it. Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Who you
and
like
the
in the
instinct
NBA?
of
Like so far, it's early on in the season.
man, who I'm liking right now, I like Shy Alexander, of course,
Yeah.
out of OKC. He going crazy right now.
Okay. He is.
Uh,
He is. And they got a winning
uh,
record.
oh,
Oh,
but Donovan Mitchell is going crazy in Cleveland.
yeah.
Who else
Sur-
you got?
surprise team.
Yeah, him and DG, they done meshed. They fit like a puzzle. You think two all stars, two dominant ball guards like that, how they gonna mesh? How they gonna do it? It's working. I'm talking about they got a perfect fit over there. John, you got Allen in the middle, you got Mobley, you got Karis
Levert
LeVert,
on the
who's a dog.
wing.
Man, I'm talking about a
Yeah.
dog at Michigan. He bringing that Michigan mentality back like he was when he was scoring them
Yeah.
25s a game. So
Right.
Donovan Mitchell going crazy. Um,
Utah
Steph
surprise
going,
team.
man, they got pieces. They don't have just one player, but they got pieces, and they winning when everybody thought they was down. Colin Sexton. You got the
Mm-hmm.
big Luke, the guy that got traded from Cleveland. He's stepping up, smacking threes. Jordan
Mm-hmm.
Clarkson, the unicorn. So you got pieces to keep going. I of course I'm like the freak, the Greek, the freak over in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Um, Steph gonna go crazy regardless because he's the best shooter
Yeah.
we ever
He put
seen in
it.
the world.
He put another 50 up last night, even though they lost. I know they sent Wiseman down to the G League, and I'm not gonna push a panic button on Golden State because they've been there before. It's still we ain't even in the first quarter of the NBA season, but when they turn it on and they get going, it's gonna be dangerous, bro. So I
I,
ain't no
I
panic button with them.
I think one of the best things that I've read or came across was what Poole said to Wiseman, and he told him, "Don't look at this as a punishment. Go down there, work on your game, shoot all the shots that you want to shoot, and come back and understand what you need to do. And that comes from a guy that didn't start at Michigan when he first got there.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen came to Golden State, had to go to the G League. Golden State had to come to the G League, and now got 140 million. So
Mm-hmm.
that hard work pays off, and he spent time working on his game. We
Yeah.
seen it. We seen his process. We seen between him and what's the guy in Miami? They both went to Michigan.
Oh,
Um,
the shooter,
yeah,
Duncan Robinson.
Duncan Robinson. Both of them didn't start from Michigan. Duncan got paid before Poole did because they
Mm-hmm.
won a little bit more, of course, in his time frame. But
Right.
the thing about it, those two guys that I think this young generation can look up to. It's not all about starting, it's who finishes, but who outworks one another. Like, I just don't want to go to a school and start and
Right.
have to do all this. I gotta put in my work. It's okay. And this is what
Yeah.
the kids are lacking these days because they feel entitled. It's adversity. No one's went through adversity in this circuit as they call basketball now, the Adidas and the Nike circuit. None of these kids had to go through adversity.
Yeah.
They've been given everything. They already you're the king. You're doing this. You're doing this. You're gonna do this when you get to school. When have y'all told these kids really work on their game? Stop having premeditated moves. Play off instinct. Learn how. Stop
Right.
want to do a tit tat tat James Harden step back. Learn how to come off a pick and roll 1-2 pull up right in his face. If you don't
Right.
attack the big, get your guys involved. Just things that just natural basketball players do. You know.
Yeah, because like a lot of the AAU, you hit it right on the head. AAU is you got four top players in the country or four D1 players. You go to these tournaments and y'all just hoop. Ain't no
That's it.
practice, ain't no skill development. Is we and then half of the coaches that go there, they know they got the kids. They there on vacation. Hey, we play at 12, we play at 3, and then y'all free to do whatever, stay out of trouble. And they going out, enjoying themselves instead
Yeah.
of like teaching these kids the game.
Man, you go to these AU games, your team, you see 5 and 6 dudes on the bench on the coaching staff, knowing they ain't supposed they in chains and everything, and just letting these kids play. I'm like, man, what we doing here, man? What are we? What has the game came to? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? What happened to that
Yeah.
strong figure? Bring you to the Boys and Girls Club, bring you to the gym. I'm talking about for the first 40 minutes, you don't even touch a ball. You ain't doing nothing but
Right.
straight conditioning and jump roping. And then
Right.
after that, it's straight right hand layup, left hand layup, between your legs, crossover. Keep your eyes up. What happened from that structure to now?
Roll the ball out. Then they
And just
wonder why
play.
guys get into the league and they ain't ready. Like,
Yeah.
but them European boys ready. Them European boys, Luca, them boys coming over here hooping.
That's 3 hours, 3 times a day. You know that
Right.
process.
Yeah, I seen it. Oh yeah. And I used to tell people when I was over there playing, like the professional team we'll play first.
Yeah.
I sometimes after we play when the younger kids came to play, I probably do an hour work with them because for the first 2 hours, all they doing is drill work. Ain't no up and down. Nah, it's individual workouts for like 2 hours before they even get into their sets and stuff like that.
Yeah. Get your footwork right. You know what I'm saying? Off
Right,
flare screens, off pin downs, off jab series, all that. Things that soon as we get, I haven't seen other than the great guards. I don't even see jab steps really no more. Other than from Clay or Donovan Mitchell or the marquee guard. Soon as I catch it, I got to put it right down. Man, you done wasted the dribble already.
right,
But that's
man.
how the game evolved. I can't knock that, but it's just you can limit your dribbles and still get your shot off. Look at Devin Booker. He young, but he from that old school because he got that Kobe in him.
Yeah, he got an old school game and it's effective. Like he get
Yeah,
to his spot, bang. He ain't wasting no time, and he's so accurate and pinpoint with the way he play. You know what I mean? Like them type of players, like Greek Freak. He got
yeah,
an old school game. All that, like you know what I mean? Like he. Let me get to the point. And
yeah,
I was having this debate with somebody like if Embiid can stay healthy because we were talking about if you're gonna take Embiid or Jokic, and I'm like
Ooh.
The part in my heart want to say Embiid because I think he's dominant, but you got to say Jokic because Jokic, he's super skilled, but he gonna beat her. If
Yeah,
it's 82 games, Jokic's gonna beat her, and he gonna beat her in the playoffs.
for
Maxi the
sure.
best player right now.
No doubt. It's not a question. But like you said, your heart, you want to go Embiid. When you say talented, Embiid is more talented probably than Jokic, hand
Yeah,
by hand. Skill, body, all that. But Jokic brings a lot to the table, that European flair. But like you said, he's durable. Your best availability is your availability.
facts.
And he has that, which his team has proven with, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. being healthy. When Will Barton was there, even though Will Barton got traded, now they got
Hmm.
Bones. The second year got Bones that's out of
Yeah,
VCU.
nah, I like a Wichita. He went to like a mid major, right?
Yeah, he went to VCU.
VCU, right? Yeah, he a killer. I like his
Yeah.
game.
He Will Barton 2.0, but younger.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, he
they got
nice.
guys, and they, like you said, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be second round guys. If they can get over the hump, you know, look like Memphis coming to tear. Ja Morant is on 100
Woo!
right now.
Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Oh my God.
Hoo, 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 hoo. Oh, hey, that boy John Morant, man,
Man,
whoo, he like a Iverson D Rose mixed with uh,
look, D Wade, he
D
got
Wade.
everybody. I'm talking about he
Man,
got it, man, and
he
he just,
he like that, bro.
man, I'm
John
talking
Morant
about.
is like that.
But he gets to in spaces though. He great in tight spaces. Like he'll split you, then he'll drop dribble you right there at the free throw, and then he'll, man, lay it up either with either hand, dunk on you, catch you on transition. It's unbelievable. Get his team rolling though. The thing about him, he gets Devin Brooks and that other guard.
Bang.
He gets, man. He's done made Bang dang near most improved player. Matter of fact, he did get it last year, didn't
I think so.
he? Yeah. So like he gets his team involved. He got Steven Adams. Steven Adams knows I set screens and I rebound. That's all I need to do. I need to get Ja open and get off those screens. And if I do that, I'm okay. And that's what he does. And Jaren Jackson, of course, coming from the Big Ten, he knows what to do.
Yeah.
He a step out assassin now. He shoots it great from the clip. He rebounds, bring athleticism, defense. So,
And
man,
and then his teammate played for Michigan State, played with them. The workhorse that was at
yeah,
Michigan State. Tillman,
Tillman,
yeah, the workhorse. I remember him.
man.
They got to the Final Four. That boy is a worker, Tillman.
Yes, sir.
So
I'm talking about cross screen. Izzo gonna run cross screen, put a big wide body in there, man. He
yeah,
duck you in, you over with. We
it's
going
over
to the
with.
free throw line. Or it's an and one. You know how Izzo, we gonna run to the corners, we gonna get out and run. And we looking for the duck in. We done had
Yeah,
Zach
for sure.
Randolph. We done had Draymond Green. We
Yeah,
done had Tillman. Before
yeah,
then, they had the other big boy. So they see that. They know what they looking for.
yeah. And they get them. Them boys play hard. Man, did you see the game when they almost beat Gonzaga? Dude just missed that
Yeah,
shot at the buzzer, and they didn't even
yeah,
have Michigan State ranked. I'm like, how y'all gonna have a Tom Izzo team ranked? I don't care if Tom Izzo got everybody from outside and brought them into the gym. Them boys, when it's all said and done, they gonna be a threat for that Final Four. And they all and what's name Gonzaga like number 2 in the world, and they
and
almost they almost took that L,
man,
63-64.
they just got blasted by Texas last night.
Who?
Gonzaga
Oh, they did. Oh,
by a
okay.
double. But we all know what time Izzo teams are. You catch them early, you beat them in November, you beat them in December. Come February, March, you
It's
don't
over
want to
with.
see them. Yeah,
It's over
they are.
with. They
They
dangerous.
sold. Yeah, they are well-oiled machine. They Elite Eight, Final Four contenders, no question. From the one guy to the 13th guy, they all are cool.
Yeah.
And that's what something you brought up in the beginning. That locker room,
Right.
everyone understands about being a star in your role. And I
Right.
think that locker room, you have coaches that do that on the floor, but as leaders, as captains, having everyone on one accord, being a star in your role in that locker room, that's when you become a great team. You go from good to great.
Right. That's Michigan State every season. They start
Yes.
off good. Like I watched that whole game when they was on that the carrier ship for
Yeah,
the military
yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah,
And I'm like Gonzaga, the number 2 team. Like I see the talent, but I'm like Michigan State really got control of this game. And dude, like I say, dude just missed that little he missed a shot. You know, you want him to take it 100 times. You put your arms around him at the end of the game and say, "Hey, bro, if you got that shot 18 more times, take it because you're gonna make it," and
yeah,
everything like that. But man, like I'm excited about college basketball. I'm happy it's here. It's early on. Northwestern just beat Georgetown like the other day and stuff like that. And
yeah.
my
I
boy, my
seen that.
former teammate, you saw that? My former
Yeah,
teammate Ben Johnson over there at your school at Minnesota. I'm expecting Minnesota to get to the tournament this year.
yeah. They definitely, Jameson Battle has to get healthy. We had
Hmm.
other two other guys go down early in the off season, so we gonna battle with injuries. We young, but we rooting for him. He getting some Minnesota kids in, so we definitely rooting for him to go somewhere in the tournament or at least get there for sure, or make a statement in the BigTen during the conference season.
All right. Hey man, Vince, thanks for your time, my brother. Man, I appreciate you stopping by the locker room.
Man, thank you. It's always a pleasure, man.
All right, man. God bless you, brother.
You too. Have a
All
good one.
right. Yep. Hey, man, my boy, man, BigTen legend, man. That's Vince Grier. Man, that left hand was always tough. And uh, one thing that he said that really that stood out to me when he talked about work being a process. He was like, when you put work in, you might not see it right away, but it's like air. You can't see air, but when you breathe, you know air is there to breathe. And working it and putting effort, not just in basketball, but anything you do, you know that the work is gonna pay off. Is the, you know what I mean? Even though you really can't see it, maybe right away. So man, shout out to Vince Grill. And whatever you do it to the best of your ability, and there's always room for improvement. All right, the day you feel that you can't get better or you can't improve, it's the day you're not living your life to the fullest. This is Locker Room Talk with Jitim Young. I'm your boy, Mr. Wildcat, Mr. Northwestern, Mr. BigTen, Jitim Young, Hall of Famer, Chicago legend. Um, tune in. I'm gonna have a lot more guys come through. I have some ladies, get some ladies on the show, talking just locker room talk, basketball, whatever. And make sure you subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Jitim Young, Twitter at Jitim Young. Follow, push subscribe on my YouTube channel. Locker room talk. We're gonna have more conversation. Let's talk about it. Shout out to my brothers Lavar, CL, and Eric Uchskiller Young, E Young. Shout out to all of my boys from Let's Talk About It. We'll be bringing some new shows with the guys real soon. But until then, this is Locker Room Talk with Jitim Young. Peace and God bless.